because I feel like I got into entertainment in general because of Playboy. I felt like it was like the most kind of normalized way to go into porn. I mean, even when I was, friends with Hef, he never thought of himself as like a pornographer or Playboy even being really porn related. But coming from like a really conservative town in Orange County, I saw The Girls Next Door on television and I was just like, oh my gosh, that looks so dreamy. Baby animals, hot girls everywhere. I could model.
But it's also Hollywood. This is a show. You see how production is now from being on the other side. So you know what I mean?
Like, I had no idea. I was just like 17, 16 years old thinking like, this is the coolest thing I have ever seen. Why I thought that was cool, that's like a whole other thing.
But I mean, like we said earlier, it's glorified to make women look beautiful and like
so
these,
pretty.
This whole like they're
like a
smart.
fairy tale.
They're not just these dumb girls. Like it's this whole lifestyle. That it's easy to fall into that facade of what you would want to do if you want like the attention and the pictures, and especially from being in a town in California.
Oh yeah, I was so into it that I was like, I'm gonna manifest that. Next thing I know it, I'm up in LA and I'm like being introduced to Hef, and then I'm invited to spend every weekend there with Hef, and this is like my sorority and all these girls are my friends. And meanwhile, this is like towards the end of his life where he was so old already that he couldn't do whatever he was up to on this documentary because he could barely walk.
They would say like when they were going out in Hollywood, they'd have come home every night that they went out. They were expected to have sex. They'd all go in the room and have sex with him, and they'd have like they would just go off of each other and like basically. It was a big orgy.
Yeah. Okay. So
it was all everything that was done was all documented, and they were all fucked up on drugs. They were all and everything because they're saying, but there was always cameras on.
Yeah. No, and I totally believe it. It's just that in 2009, 2010. He just like wasn't, it was right at like the end of that because of his age.
Was he being a cuckold and just making them do things?
He was literally decrepit, like not in a mean way. Like he was aging and he wasn't doing well. And he was like, it was hard for him kind of just to even like be mobile and stuff. And so I'm not saying that sexy time didn't happen with other women upstairs in his room, but he himself was probably more of a voyeur because he was so elderly, and so it wasn't really like, yes, there were parties. Midsummer's Night still happened. I was a painted girl. It was so much fun. Like it was still alive, but it just wasn't like at all the height of Playboy, which I think is where all of like this drama and negative stuff really happened because he was just like more lively.
Yes and no, but even like with Holly's, testimony of her doing that, that was still towards the later part
he
of
was
those
older
things,
then
too. And it was more darker on the side of like the control.